Kingdom Hearts is a solid series. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't think X was bad. I didn't think X was bad. The worst Final Fantasy. I don't think there's like really. I don't think there's really a bad Final Fantasy. Like obviously, like I'll say this over and over again. There's different tiers, but like they all have good stories, good characters. This Final Fantasy is rough. It's definitely got its rough spots. 100%. Kingdom Hearts 2 was definitely peak of the Kingdom Hearts series. I miss having a Sephiroth fight to look forward to. I'm so sad that fight is gone now. No Final Fantasy 13 slander will be tolerated. This one is a bad Final Fantasy. I can see why people don't like it, but I can see why it's also good. Okay, fine, I'll say this. X is not... I can definitely agree with that, Chaos, where 10 I don't find is like a top Final Fantasy. It's definitely not my top 5. But it's definitely got its merits. Like, its story is really good. The sphere grid is very, very inventive. But I have my problems with the sphere grid, not in terms of, like, filling it out, in terms of, like, where it makes it that it doesn't matter who you have in your party. 7 and 8 is outdated and gameplay is mid and mess stories. I don't think so. 7 is definitely overhyped. I'm very, very turn-based gameplay. Like, I love my turn-based. I find 15 and 16 definitely have gone away from one of the things that made Final Fantasy extremely, extremely good. Like, there's... Like, everything that's coming out is action-based combat. So, like, there's an oversaturation of it at this point. All Final Fantasy games have their strengths and weaknesses. 100% user, like, I definitely agree with that. All Final Fantasy games have their good points and their bad points, which is why I don't find any of them bad. You know what game looks good? I think Path of Exile is looking really good too, Chaos. What I think they're all... Yeah, I think all Final Fantasy games are really good. They just have their ups and downs for sure. Oh, music for Final Fantasy is fucking peak. 100%. The various reasons everyone has their favorites and their subjective experiences. I find like whatever one's your first tends to have a very big play on that. The skill tree has over 1,000 points. Yeah, that's gonna be fucking wild. I would rather play 13 than 15. That's a valid choice. I haven't played 15 in a long time. 8 has a perfect balance of story, combat, and is worthy of being people's top 10. I can, well, there's not, I guess there's only 6, oh, no, because there's side Final Fantasies too. I can see 10 being in a top 10, it's just not high up there on my list. 9 was very good. 9 is when I find they started to fall off a little bit. Just in terms of, because they're getting all this new technology, they're trying too many things. Or not 9, 10, like after 9. 15 is garbage. I don't think 15 is garbage. I definitely see a lot of points where they went wrong, mainly because they went away from like their base. Like they tried to do too much with 15, and it's the era where it's the era where everybody is getting into the very action-based combat, so they went that route, and they didn't do it as well as they could have. And then they lost, like, a couple of their main people, so then it went downhill from there. Is there a... I think there's supposed to be something down here. Just give me... Rather go into Septic Shock than play 13. Rebirth should have won Game of the Year. I can see your opinion on that. 13 Trilogy needs a good port. 13 Trilogy definitely needs a port. They haven't looked at it enough. I'm a very big fan of 8, but I can definitely understand where like the hate for 8 lies. They definitely tweaked it a lot at once. I'm trying to keep up with the fucking chat now. Devil's Advocate, I feel... Oh yeah, Path of Exiles could definitely be overwhelming, 100%. Do you think trying new things in a Final Fantasy franchise makes it better or worse? It depends. There are parts that make it better, and there are parts that make it worse. I feel like their best bet is to do the changes... Is this one going up and down? No, it's not. I feel like their best bet... Oh, it is. To do the changes is to do it on, like, side games and, like, sequels or prequels, and not on the mainline series. Rebirth would have been way better without all the internal... That's the thing, though. All the mini-games are optional. I know there's parts where they make you play a couple of them, so I understand that part. But, like, mini-games has been, like... a lot of mini-games has been a thing for, like, Final Fantasy for a long time. I know Rebirth, they definitely went very overboard. 100%. 15's launch was bad. Yeah, 15's launch was definitely subpar. They could have gone the Star Ocean route, really mixed in the... Yeah, like, the... I'm a very big fan of Star Ocean's combat. Star Ocean's combat is excellent, in my opinion. Like, but, like, it's a different series altogether, right? Which is why I find, like, that works with them. I'm playing this on PC right now. Final Fantasy 19 you find is the best characters. Final Fantasy 9 definitely has some good ones. I find 6 is really good. Like, they're some of the best character, like, not even character designs, but, like, written characters. And that's why a lot of people hate 8. The draw system from Final Fantasy 8 was a big change, and that's why the system for 8 threw people off a lot. Yeah, so that's why I 100% understand when people hate 8 because of the big change they made. And once you get to a certain point, which could be the start of the game if you train your characters enough, the magic system and the summon system from 8 just become completely obsolete and non-useful for anybody. 7 Remake was Game of the Year in my opinion. I can see they did a lot for the 7 Remake, 100%. I forget what won Game of the Year that year, so I'm not... Or, was it this year? I can't remember. Very good game. I can't pronounce your name because it's all symbols, unfortunately. I will call you Wings, because there's wings on 2 sides, or they could be other things. They're just really small right now. 1, 3... Do you mean 3 as in Japanese 3, or 3 as in 6? 7, 9, 10. That's a very solid top 5, JV. 100%. I can understand where you're coming from with that. Very solid top 5 picks. Mushroom picking thing. Yeah, like some of the little I see what you're saying by mini games, like the little things that they add in just to progress the story. 100%. Those things are very, very irritating. I thought you meant like the cards and like the weird like tower defense system and stuff. But now I get what you're saying. The boat and island part dragging so long. Yep, I can definitely understand that. Or having to go through all those mini games after you get off the boat in Costa del Sol. Hope was so annoying he blamed Snow for the He had a reason for blaming Snow, but not a very valid reason. His mom made her own choices. Clickbait title or actual take. Oh, I didn't realize there was 2 thes. Storm Strike. Not really a clickbait title. I was just trying to think of something catchy to put in. Astrobot. Yeah, I can understand why Astrobot got up there, but I definitely don't think it should have won. There were so many other games like Astrobot is definitely like your typical platformer. Like there are so many platformers out there, so I can understand why people are angry at that. Favorite the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy. I don't know, it's a toss-up between this one and the second one. Second one has a lot, like, I like the jumping between realms and time stuff. X is my all-time favorite. 10 seems to be a lot of people's favorite. Even with the worst main character. Didn't like Titus, eh? Ooh, shit, I almost died. Didn't like Titus, eh? And then H is down the bottom, definitely top 2 favorite protagonist. I like Titus. I liked the background for Titus. The fact that he was a spoiler for anybody who hasn't played 10. If you haven't played 10, plug your ears. I like the fact that he was a dream and, like, incorporated in. There was definitely a lot of background stuff for 10 that was really nice. We don't tolerate Hope Hatred here. Best developed character in the 13 series. Hope is a child, like, what do you expect? Yeah, like, he's very young, like, he's in that stage where, like, his thoughts can be very irrational at points, but, like, him hating Snow for that, like, before knowing the full backstory is very, very valid. Almost punch your screen every time Hope appeared. Auron was a very well-written character. I loved that, and like the fact that he had to keep the secret. Like another spoiler. Plug your ears if you haven't gotten this far in 10 yet. I'll give you a second. The fact that fucking Auron hasn't like had to keep the fact that he was dead a secret, and there was definitely foreshadowing in that, where the fact that every time Yuna would do ascending, he would be gone somewhere. Like every time you turn around, Auron's just not there. Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC. Titus just cried and whined too much. Valid. He just had daddy issues. You're not wrong. But in his defense, Jecht was a terrible dad. Vanille is a top character. Be ready. Oh, she is definitely undervalued. Definitely well written. I think they could have definitely gone, did a lot more for the backstory for Vanille and Fang. They definitely could have delved a little bit further into that. I would say. Riku was definitely a fun character. Literally everything. Vanille is the cause of everything. Fuck her. No, For me, the opening, the place I'll return to someday, crumples me with nostalgia. I could gush. Titus is the Gohan of Final Fantasy. So much potential, and they just fucking tanked him. That I can agree on. Vanille's good. I was just joking. Vanille's good. But yeah, no, like, I definitely agree with Titus is definitely the Gohan of the Final Fantasy verse. Like, he's got so much potential, and there's so much that they could have tweaked. I really, really wish they would have brought Titus back for 10-2. If they would have brought Titus back for 10-2, they could have done so much with that character. I went back to all Final Fantasies in my mid-30s, and living life helps to understand things. Yeah, like, I find, like, once you play the Final Fantasies, especially, like, if you go back to them after you played them, like, as a kid to real life, to later on in life, you can definitely understand, like, a lot of the stories and a lot of the characters, like, a little bit better. I'm playing 12 for the first time right now, and targeting is... Yeah, the targeting is definitely weird in 12. You definitely got to get used to setting up some of the gambits, but they're a little weird too, because if you don't stack them the right way, they won't activate properly either. Like, I had my healing set up so that, like, if I was at 70% health, I'd use, like, my white mage that I had set up would use a small healing magic. Then if I was at 50, it would be a higher one, and at 30, it would be, like, a really high one, and sometimes they wouldn't activate. So you definitely got to watch out for that. Same with, like, a lot of the combat-oriented ones and the ones that heal status effects. If they're not in the proper chain, they won't activate during combat. Going back to America 6 as an adult. Oh, yeah. Well, I call American 6 True 6 because they released it as 3 instead of original 6. So if you just say 6, I 100% understand where you're coming from. The only time I ever ask is when somebody says 3, then I say Japanese 3 or American 3. Yeah, like, the 6 has such an in-depth story to it. Couldn't get through 12, to be honest. 12 is definitely hard to get through for some. I can understand that. Like, especially, like, the combat. I find the combat is just a little weird. Some people like it. I know there's people in chat right now that are very fond of 12's combat system. I just find for a single-player game, it's too MMO for my liking. Just where, like, to control all the characters, combat has to come to, like, a rushing halt. That's why... Oh, that's not the one I meant to go to. I love how, like, fluid 13's is right now. Like, where it's just like, I need to heal somebody, just flip over. I dropped 8. I can also understand why 8 was dropped a lot. I like 8 for the story, and, like, a lot of the characters. Good Titus. Not Titus. Squall is definitely very irksome at times. And, like, the junction system is, like, can be a little weird to get into, and the draw system is definitely a very big flaw for a lot of people for Ace. I encourage folks to play games again when they're older. Oh yeah, 100% nuance definitely matters. But, like, especially, like, ones that you couldn't get into as a kid. Like, sometimes it might be, like, the ADHD or just not wanting to wait around for certain things can definitely bother a lot. Yeah, like, definitely give 12 another shot. Like, I've given, like, shows and games another shot when I got older, and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, this is a lot better than I remember. Love 12, but if you aren't feeling... Yeah, 12, if you aren't feeling the combat, it can definitely deter you a lot. Being the weird prequel to Tactics is the only reason I went through 12. 12 was very hard for me as well. It wasn't my favorite. I dropped it twice before I 100%ed it. I can see that. I can definitely see that. Like, there's definitely a reason a lot of people have dropped 12. Same with 8. 8 is one of my top 5 Final Fantasies, but I can definitely see why there's so many people that just dropped it. Stop. The Hope is just getting fucking reamed by this monster. Played through all the others, though. I really enjoyed 4, 7, 9, and 16. I can't wait to get to 16. I've been enjoying... I only played a little bit through it, because I'm doing all the Final Fantasies for stream. So I stopped it, just because I want to do it when I get to it. Definitely probably going to have to do this. Or not. So I can't wait to get to 16. I love the visuals and some of the stuff that I got into so far. I really like. Definitely played through some of the other ones. Like 6 is an excellent Final Fantasy, especially story-wise. I can understand if you don't play Ace. 8 is one of my personal favorites. Definitely give Tactics a go. Tactics has one of the best stories in Final Fantasy, in my opinion. Let's see, J-Lo, 4, 6, 9, 13, 16 are your top 5. It's a very, very solid top 5. I can't say anything about 16 yet. I'm excited to get there, though. Definitely one of the best entries in the series. Might be your top 3, eh? I'll have to see where I get to for that, because the combat is probably what's gonna put me down on the tier system for mine, anyways. Because like especially when I'm playing a Final Fantasy game, I want there to be the turn-based combat style. So like 15 and 16 are a little bit lower. I want to play Tactics. Love the battle system for Tactics game. If you're a fan of Tactics games, Tactics story is by far one of the best. And like somebody up there already said, where they played through 12 even though they didn't really like it, just for the fact that it was like it's in the Tactics universe. Issue with 12 was how many crusty dust places there were. Combat was okay. I can see that. The locations were beautiful, but there's a lot of places that are just open and barren, so I can 100% understand that. 13 is definitely a little bit lower on my list, 100%. Like 13 is closer to the combat style that I like. I like the tweaks that they did to it. It's still turn-based, but it's more fluid turn-based. It's not in my top 5, but it's higher up in my top 10. Yeah, like it was much like Tales of Arise, and that's where it's more of like a series thing for me, because I like the Tales games, and like I beat Tales of Arise, So I like Tales, but it's just the fact that like it's a Final Fantasy game, so I feel like straying away from it kind of irks me a little bit. Combat style was okay, but yeah, 15's combat style was a little janky.
Making me worry like that.
Yeah, I can see
We'll talk later.
half of 12 is literally in the desert. Yeah, whether it be like a sand desert or a fucking snow desert. 9 Tactics 6 DS 3, so original 3 and 4. That's a solid lineup. I like that lineup. Yeah, there's a lot of dried. I already read that one. Ugh. Tales of Arise is a bad Tales. I enjoyed Tales of Arise. I haven't played the other Tales games, so obviously it's the only Tales game I've played. So I'll have to hold my judgment until I play those, because I'm still doing the Tales of Arise games after I finish where I'm at. In like when I either finish the Final Fantasy or the Star Oceans. It irks me too, but as games come out turn-based, they're being aged out. You're not wrong. Gotta survive somehow. Exactly. But, like, there's a lot of turn-based... Like, the Persona games are, like, very, very highly sought after. And then, like... Sea of Stars is another, like, retro game that came out that was very well received. Friggin', like, the pixel remasters that they just did were well received. So, like, there's still a sense for turn-based games, which is why I think where Final Fantasy has always been turn-based, they should leave it that way and then do other things for another series. Look at that weird little birdie. This series, where are we at? I think the series should adopt a re-trilogy form and combat fully and make it the standard. Potentially. You'll understand what I mean when you play the other Tales. Okay. Good to know. I'm excited to play them. The Brotherhood teamwork aspect of Final Fantasy 15 was, yeah, like the travel in 15 irked me, though, when you'd sit there, even with the car, where you're like, I'm going to use the car to travel from here to here. Well, that's going to take you 20 minutes. And it's just like, what do you mean driving from here to here is going to take me 20 minutes? Vesperia was amazing. I love the look of the Tales games, especially the cutscenes. Hit even harder after some of your friends passed away. I can definitely see that. Vanille go fishing.
If we stuck together.
Tales of Arise quite a bit. Vesperia is still your favorite? Okay. I miss this game so much. I wish they'd bring it to the newer consoles. 100%. They could definitely even just a port. Tales of Abyss blows me. The game would be infinitely better if Guy was the MC. 15 aka Road Trip with the Boys, 100%.
We're still gonna have our talk.
Felt the story and setting for 15 was pretty good. I enjoyed 15's story. The combat definitely could have used some polishing. What are your feelings on Final Fantasy X? 10's story was good. There were a lot of the characters that I enjoyed. Oh, now I can compose my team. The the designs for characters were really good. Who do I want on my team right now? Fuck. Just give me a second, team. I'll deal with you later. Do they all have full crystallariums yet? I don't think they do. I think it's just just the 3. So I'm gonna have to think about this for a second. But like, I liked the everything's going good, Geralt. Where was he? Feelings on 10. Okay, back to that. I liked the design of the sphere grid. The idea of the sphere grid was good, but I hate the fact that it made a lot of characters just not necessary, because everybody became every single class at once, so there was no real, I guess, diversity in characters. That's what irked me a little bit, but the idea of the sphere grid is absolutely amazing. 15 definitely had a lot of weird gameplay choices. I will 100% agree with that. 17 remake combat style was fantastic. Nice natural progression from turn-based. See, and that's where I can agree. Like, the fact that it was a 7 remake, and then they tweaked so much for the combat style, I have no problem with. It's the fact that when they, like the mainline series, when they tweak the combat, is what I think they should leave the same. Steven, oh, cool, hallway simulator. Hallway to Cathedral. There's a Cathedral coming. We're getting there. Tales of Abyss is good. I'm excited. 7 Remake is basically an ARPG much like 16. Which is 100% in agreement for that. Which is why I don't mind it being like a different combat style, because it's not like the mainline series. The one big moment in 17 that stands out to this day is the behemoth at the start where you're sneaking by. Sick. Oh, I'm iffy about that. A remake for what? Did I finish Ravager? Oh, I did finish Ravager. Okay, give me a second there. It is, but isn't. I think it has much more strategy and depth than 16's does. Okay. Even leveling up is hallway. You're not wrong about that. Like, you can't even really call it leveling up because there's no levels. I don't know why I keep going back to go to the next person. I want another tactics title. Another tactics title would be great. But yeah, like, I'm very iffy about a 6 remake because I don't want them to go the route of the 7 remake. Because 7 would be, especially with some of the, especially with, I finished that. Especially with some of the moves, like Sabin's suplex and stuff, or like suplexing the train, would be very hard to fucking recreate. Like, they break a lot of stuff. Oh, a remake look of Kefka would be very, very amazing. Like, the character designs would be so good. Yeah, like, that is my biggest gripe about the new Final Fantasies. As much as I love all Final Fantasies, well, like, in different ways, the fact that the open world is gone, and not in the open world sense of, like, 15, because 15 was very, very open world, but I mean, like, open world and having your airship and your ground vehicles and stuff like that. I did it again. Like, being able to just be like, okay, I'm gonna fly from this city to this city and stuff like that is what I miss a lot in Final Fantasy. Like, the world map is definitely something I wish they'd bring back, even if just to travel places. Like, let's see, Tactics Remaster was leaked. Oh, okay. 6 years ago, still nothing new. Yeah, I'll hold my breath for any leaks. You had the whole planet, not just a... Yeah, the whole planet, not just a region. Exactly, 100%. Yeah, like, world maps were... Stop that. There we go. But, like, world maps were the way to go. Like, world maps were so good. Like, even if you just made it, like... like, I feel like there's a way they could have done it, but they just didn't. There we go. Fucking Quake. But, like, I miss world maps. Like I'm working on, like, I'm using RPG Maker right now to work on a game. So I'm so glad to have a world map. Especially the OG 7 as well as 4. I have not tried Metaphor yet. I keep hearing very, very amazing things about it, and the fact that it's like another turn-based RPG, so I'm very, very excited to give it a try. Same with Octopath Traveler. I'm very excited to play Octopath because the look of that game is just so pretty.
You're so pretty.
My wife just called me pretty, everyone. She's being weird.
Shut up. Take it back.
She took it back. She hates me. Everyone heard that.
All right. You said it, not me.
On the topic of RPG Maker, which version is your favorite? It's really hard to go with a favorite for RPG Maker. They're all good within their own right, but obviously the newest one has a lot to it. Especially in terms of where the new one has a built-in character generator, like a character creator where you get to pick from parts. especially when you get to see a spot you can't get to early game. Then, yeah, then in an airship later on, you're like, that place. Rebirth was your game of the year personally, but Metaphor is the best turn base you've seen in a while. Have you played Sea of Stars? Sea of Stars is very, very nostalgic in terms of like Chrono Trigger throwback. There was also a progression tracker with world maps. You went from foot, vehicle to flight. Exactly.
What game did you play that had it was a pixel game, obviously, and it had the little chef guy?
Sea Stars.
Oh yeah, no, that was beautiful. That's really good.
First PS1 RPG Maker. Oh, the PS1 RPG Maker was very, very hinky.
Hinky?
Yep, hinky.
You make fun of my words.
I haven't played Setsuna yet. I've been meaning to play it. It was on the game catalog for a while, but I haven't gotten to it. And I don't think it's on the game catalog anymore, but it looks very, very good. Weapons. I upgraded her current one, so we're just going to leave that alone. Brawler. So, like, it's definitely, like, on the list. But there's a lot of things on the list. Oh, Sea of Stars was really good. Like, the story was really good. The realm travel was decent. The, whatchamacallit, the game mechanics were really, really well thought out. Yeah, it'll definitely tickle your old JRPG, the old JRPG bone, for certain. Not a problem, Bows. I'll be here. She does play RPG. She's more of a cozy gamer, though.
Well, kind of. I'm a cozy, like, survival person.
Yeah, she likes the cozy / survival games. She plays the odd RPG. But not in terms of, like, these ones. She likes to watch them more than play them.
Yeah, because I like to be able to go do my own thing. Not run here, do this. Run there, do this. It's boring for me.
She's actually in, I don't know why I left that, because I'm upgrading my weapons. She's in game programming and development right now. Oh, let's see what we can do here. We are going to slowly power up a couple things. A little bit for you. We'll get everything to 10 first.
Nice even number.
Right? She's not as much as of the hardcore gamer as myself. But it's hard to get to that point in life.
Yeah, I've had 3 kids. That takes up a lot of time.
Need to go, came for the game talk and stayed for the beard. It's a lot of people stay for the beard. It seems to be one of my selling points. Definitely sold her.
You really have a beard.
Actually, it's my crotch that sold her. She stared at that the first time we met.
It was your belt.
She likes to say it was the belt buckle I was wearing. She's just blaming the giant bright green Zelda buckle for staring at my crotch.
You're behind the counter. I couldn't even see it.
Excuses.